Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus pilot, and welcome back to the awesome fly-by-wire Airbus A380. Today we're going to fly the Emirates Flight 232, a real-world A380 service from Washington Dulles to Dubai. This is going to be about a 12.5-hour flight, and I'd say after a quick message from today's sponsor, we're going to get straight into this. If you're looking for an ATC add-on that is not just doing your standard IFR A to B flight, but also other things like VFR, data link, and even a cabin crew simulation, then Say Intentions may just about be for you. We will be using them for both the ATC as well as our cabin crew in today's video, so if you like what you're about to see, then be sure to check them out using the link in the pinned comment or the video description below. And with that, let's get straight into this. So welcome to the cockpit of the awesome Airbus A380. We're going to start today's video, as always, by reviewing our route of flight. So let's go ahead and have a look. As always, I will be using Firefox to display the SimBrief PDF. Now we're departing Washington, heading out to the Atlantic, then through Portugal and Spain to the Mediterranean, and eventually all the way along the North African coast through Saudi Arabia, where we are hopefully going to see a lovely sunrise into Dubai. The significant weather chart looks pretty good for today's flight. So we do have that superb jet stream with a core in flight level 310 over here. We are cruising in 330 just for comparison. That's going to push us all the way towards Dubai. Now those wind speeds reach up to 130, well 125 knots over here. So it's going to make it a pretty quick flight. That may come with a little bit of turbulence, as we can see in this area over here, and looking into the next chart in this area over here, but I will gladly take the turbulence for an earlier arrival. Apart from that, you can see that we are more or less flying along the jet stream all day long, and getting into Dubai, then we've got good weather. Now let's have a look at the airport weather. Washington is pretty much superb, nothing to complain about at all, and if that comes from a German, you can take it as that. Now, our arrival into Dubai may be an interesting one. The wind is 07085 as the base winds over here, and then throughout the course of tomorrow noon local Dubai time, it's going to turn towards a northwesterly wind, so the runway could be either 12 or 30. So we'll just have to see about that. Our alternate in Al Maktoum is actually very good as well, nothing to complain about at all over there. With that in mind, let's have a look at the flight plan. An on-time departure at 15:30 means an arrival 10 minutes ahead of schedule, taking off at 534 tons of takeoff weight. Now, plenty of margin for the landing weight, and the zero fuel is almost at the maximum, 360.1 versus 361 maximum. Flight level 330 will be our initial cruising level, and with that in mind, let's go down into the fuel section of the plan. 174 tons takeoff fuel plus a ton of taxi fuel, leading us to 175 tons of total. Now, with that, we would land with less than an hour of fuel in Dubai, so let's add another 5 minutes, which is another 1,000 kilos over here. Therefore bringing us up to 176 tons. And I think that's all that we're actually going to need for today's flight. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get right into preparing the A380 for today's flight. So starting with a couple of basics over here, we've got the engine start selector and norm, the masters are off, and the weather radar is basically off as well. So landing gear lever is down, the wipers are off, and then we can go ahead and power up. Like that, and then the external power units 2314 are all coming to life. Now the airplane may take a little while to boot up. While it's doing that, we can take a look down here into both the EFB, where we can import our SimBrief flight plan as well, then head over into the loading menu. Let's go ahead and do an, oh no, not a real-time load, that's going to take too long. Let's do instant, please. Thank you. And the same for the fuel. 176 tons, please. Instant, and let's go. So then we can also turn our EFBs on the left side, loading, and let's also do the same on the right-hand side down here, and that's also loading. Now let's do the best thing the entire Airbus has to offer. Open up the table, And while we're waiting for all of that to go through, ADS 1, 2, and 3 are coming on. The airplane has already powered, so let's do the APU fire test. And that is looking good. Now, refueling 176 is completed down here, so let's turn on the signs. Also gonna turn on the nav lights down here already. And, well, then, let's see. Okay, the OAS has finished loading, so let's go down here into the pilot screen and flight ops. We're gonna be the Emirates 232 from Washington Dulles over to Dubai. Okay, that's all loaded. Then let's continue into the data folder and the OFP, where we've got our flight plan. And last but not least, we also got our terminal charts based on Navigraph from Washington, and we can just go ahead and pin a couple of charts over there as well. Airport chart, parking gate chart, A380 taxi routes, and then for our standard instrument departure, let's see, we got the Jacobi 4, and that's that one. Alright, cool, so all that stuff is already done and finished. Then down here, I do want to start the APU, because I want it nice and comfy for our guests, so APU is coming. Okay then, looking into the data link A380-800, nav database is unfortunately out of date. I'm really not sure why and how I can update this, because my Sims database is up to date, but okay. Then let's do the company flight plan request, requesting the SimBrief flight plan into our FMS. Might take a little while for this to arrive, and while we're waiting for it, let's go ahead with our aircraft's technical acceptance. So, recall. Down here, press and hold for 3 seconds. And that's looking wonderful, nothing in there. A380 does not have a dispatch page, that's fine. Alright, nothing in the tech log. APU is now available. Let's put the bleed on. Here we go. And then we do want the temperature up there in the middle. Alright, cool. So that's all looking good. Flight plan has arrived as well now. Let's insert that. Emirates 232 from Washington to Dubai, alternate Al Maktoum. That does look good. Alright, cool. So with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and start with our preliminary takeoff calculations. So the Asus should be on 134 something, I believe. Let's go ahead and quickly have a look. Asus 13485. And we can switch that active and just take a quick listen to see what the weather conditions are and which runway is actually active.
0 feet. Bird activity in vicinity of airport. Runway crack sealing in progress. Expect minor delays near the work area. Advise on initial contact. You have information Golf. Washington Dulles International Airport. Information Golf. 2152 Zulu. Arriving runways 19er center, 19er right, 19er left, 12. Departing runway 19er left. Wind 330 at 5. Visibility 10. Sky conditions, few at 7,000 feet. Temperature 13. Dew point -6. Altimeter 3014. Density altitude 0 feet. Bird activity in vicinity of airport. Runway crack sealing in progress. Expect minor delays near the work area. Advise on
Okay, I think we've heard it now, so let's just put the frequency on a 12345 for the time being. Delivery will be 1357 later on. Okay, cool. So we are going to use it like that. That's fine for the time being. So then let's go for the preliminary takeoff data calculation, and we are going to use the SimBrief calculator for that again. So here we are on Washington's runway 19 left, which is what the Asus said for us to expect. I'm going to leave all the weather like it is down there, and takeoff weight, well, let's add 2,000 kilos over here, so 536 tons. Alright, calculate, and that gets us flaps 2 takeoff at 34 degrees, 36, 51, 59, and that's with the bleeds on, and we're limited by the runway with a 45 meter stop margin. That looks good. Okay, cool. So, excellent. With that, we've got the basics out of the way here. Then let's go ahead and start with the aircraft's status. So, oxygen pressure is good. Hydraulic quantities are full, and engine oil all 4 of them. Engine oil is full. Perfect. Okay then. So, flaps up, spoilers retracted, both of those match. Let's release the park and brake here momentarily. Brake check is looking good, and park and brake is set again. Alright, perfect. Then that's that part. Let's also go ahead and turn that ambient light off. Won't need that. The rest is okay for being on. Well, and that's the pre-flight or the preliminary pre-flight complete. So let's go into the pre-flight procedures here. Crew supply on. Flight recorder. Here it is. On. Evacuation switch should be on captain, but the rest is okay. Down here, everything's good. Everything's good. Refueling, let's see, is completed. 176 tons on board. So let's go ahead and turn on all the fuel pumps. Okay, fire test is done. Maintenance panel shows us 1 white light. That is acceptable. Over here, everything is done. CVR test is not simulated. That's fine. And the rest of the top is set. Now, let's go ahead and have a look. The current QNH is 3021. Like that. And the rest of the main panel is set. It's the 6th of November 2025. Down here, everything is set for the time being. The middle panel is also set. The right side is set. Well then, let's go into the FMS. So, we'll be using our Simbri flight plan. And we are the Emirates 232, Washington to Dubai, alternate Al Maktoum. Flight level 330, cruise temperature is going to be minus 50 degrees, that's good. Tropopause in 37,000, let's go ahead and enter that. Trip wind is an average tailwind of 68 knots. Man, imagine that. Over a course of, well, 12.5 hours, that means we are flying some 800 miles less over in the air than we are flying over the ground. Quite impressive, isn't it? So, 19 left, and we're looking for the Jacobi 4 departure. Transition towards a guard, Tempe and insert, and that's basically onto a manual lag. We will have a look at that in detail later. In the meantime, for Dubai, I'm going to start with runway 30 left, since that's kind of what I'm expecting. ILS approach, and we got the VTAP, what's that, for Charlie arrival, and we'll take the ULDOT transition. Okay, Tempe and insert. Now let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit, just to make sure that there are no discontinuities that might ruin our day. Yep, long flight, isn't it? Alright, but that looks wonderful. No discontinuities in here. Perfect. So let's go to flight plan info and fix info up next. We are looking for Washington 19 left. We do need the runway track up here. And we can just snatch that one from here. 191. And that's it. I am going to add a 25-mile ring because we can't add custom waypoints in the fly-by-wire. You can see the menu is grayed out. So happy with that for the time being. Alright then, nav aids, there is nothing in there. Then we got the fuel and load page. 0 fuel weight. The camera is lagging a little bit. So 0 fuel weight is going to be 360.0 1. The CG is unknown for the time being. What is that doing? Entry out of range. 360.1. That is not out of range, thanks. 176 tons of fuel. Taxi fuel is going to be 1. Then we got... let's see. Route reserve 4.4. Alternate 5.3. Final 5.1. Okay, that's looking good. Minimum at destination 10.4. I don't trust the extra figures down here. That's not quite accurate, so we'll just leave that out for the time being. Now, for the takeoff figures. We said this is going to be a flex takeoff at 34 degrees. So, flaps 2, packs on, and the takeoff speeds 36, 51, 59. Alright, and that should be looking good. Now, engine out acceleration, let's see, what's the field elevation? That's basically 300, so we should have like 1,400 and 1,400, and then 1,800. Well, let's turn that into 1,900 just to be sure. Position monitor page is not simulated, and climb derate none, we can't change that. Okay, so be it. Transition altitude 18,000 is also okay. Now let's go ahead and check our standard instrument departure. So, runway 19 left, straight at 820, then right turn heading 320, and we got straight at 820, then heading 320. Then we'll continue from Riggins above 3000 towards Jacobi, and we got Riggins, so that's probably meant to be above 3000 there, towards Jacobi. And then we continue via Grim, Rice, Dr. Agard. And we got Grim, Rice, Dr. and Agard. Alright, so far so good. Let's just have another look at that over here. Yep, Riggins above 3000 is correct, and that's superb. That's what our sit looks like. Okay, lovely. So all that good stuff is in there, and the secondary flight plan is not simulated, so we are done with our FMS setup. Then let's move up to the glare shield, QNH 3021. Can pre-select any of this. Initial climb 3000. We'll set 3100 until we have received our IFR clearance, as a reminder that we're not actually cleared over here yet. And with that, we are basically done with our setup. We do get a destination fuel warning. I guess it's because the fly-by-wire doesn't actually calculate the winds, or because we haven't actually entered any of the step climbs. That may be the case as well. So let's just quickly add the steps. Probably a mix of the two. So, flight level 350 at 43 north, 30 west. Um, 40 west actually, so that's this one, and that's going to be flight level 350. Then we're going to climb to flight level 370 at Golfo. So, Golfo 370, and then we're going to climb to flight level 390 at Vutar. Now, why do we not get another field here? Here we go, that's better. So, Vutar, flight level 390. And that's it. Alright, beautiful. So, now everything's in, and now it says we arrive with some fuel as well. Alright, cool. I'm happy with that. So with all of that in mind, let's go straight into the departure briefing. And that's going to be for you to start. So today we're departing from Washington, runway 19 left on the, what's it called again, Jacobi 4, initial climb 3000, departure when advised by ATC. MSA is basically 3000 in this area, and extra fuel and time we have pretty much 0. Alright then, so for our taxi out, I don't see any hotspots. Push back to the right, taxi out to the right, and that's it. For the stop margin, we've got 45 meters. Engine out sits straight at 25 miles, climbing 3000. Radar vectors back to 19 left. We're above the maximum landing weight, but Washington is as good an option as any of the other airports in the area. We can consider dumping fuel. We can also come back overweight. Really depends on the nature of the emergency and what we are going to do then. Well, apart from that, we've got nothing special, nothing non-standard here, and I don't see any threats. Anything from your side? No. Okay, lovely. Then that's our briefing completed. So let's go for the cockpit preparation checklist, please. Gear pins and covers removed. Fuel quantity 176 tons, and that looks balanced. And barrel ref QNH 3021. Cockpit preparation checklist complete. Okay, let's call for clearance. Where is that gonna work? Let's see. Yeah, my headset turned itself off. That's why I didn't hear anything. Washington delivery, Emirates 232 Super, request IFR clearance to Dubai. Well, we're waiting for that.
Give me 1 second for that clearance.
Let's quickly initialize this. Alright, here's the flight plan. That's what we needed over there.
Emirates 232 Heavy cleared to Dubai via the Jacoby 4 departure, then is filed. Departure runway 19er left. Climb and maintain 3,000 feet. Departure on 120.45, squawk 6457.
Emirates 232 Super is cleared to Dubai, runway 19 left, Jacoby 4 departure, climbing 3000, departure frequency 120.45, squawk 6457.
Emirates 232 Heavy, read back correct. Ground will be on 121.625.
121.625, Emirates 232, bye-bye. Okay, 21625 is active. We are already running on the APU. Then let's go ahead and remove the external power units. And then let's say hello to our passengers. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel. In the name of Emirates, I would like to welcome you all on board our Airbus A380 on our flight to Dubai. Today we're expecting a flight time of 12.5 hours and a mostly smooth flight. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us, and if there is anything we can do for you to make it more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew.
Stow your hand luggage in the overhead bins or under the seats in front of you. If you require
Okay,
assistance,
so
do not
the
hesitate
final
to
load sheet
reach
should
out
be
to
here
any
by
member
now.
of our crew. Thank
So
you for
let's
choosing
see,
us.
we
hope
got
you have a pleasant flight.
zero fuel weight of 360.1 and a CG of 33. So we got 360.1 and the CG 33. So gross weight CG 39.6. Like that. All the rest is looking good. Then we are done down here. Perfect. So GSX, please prepare the position for pushback and departure. Handling by Donata. Okay, down here everything looks good. Transponder is on. Beautiful. Let's call for pushback clearance. Ground from flight deck. Please confirm that all the doors and hatches are closed. Ground equipment is removed. And the bypass pin is installed. Yeah, that's all confirmed. Roger, then we're calling for clearance. Stand by. Dubai ground, Emirates 232 Super, request pushback and startup. Did I say Dubai ground instead of Dulles ground? Well, suppose if he wants to kill me, he's still got the chance.
Emirates 232 heavy, pushback and startup approved, tail east.
Pushback and startup approved, tail east, Emirates 232 Super. Okay, so before start checklist, please. That's park and brake. For the time being, that's set. Takeoff speeds and thrust. V1 136, VR 151, V2 159, flex 34. And that's the before start checklist complete. Ground from flight deck. So, pushback and startup approved, facing east. The park and brake is set. Roger, stand by. So I guess we're about ready. Just waiting for GSX once again. Come on. You're in contact down there. Lifting us up. Well, then we should be ready any moment now. Tail east means tail going to the right. Interesting, with 19 left in use, does that make sense? But yeah, he said tail east, so that's going to be facing west. Just doesn't make sense. I'm going to push the other way around. Or? No, come on, let's do facing west, as ATC instructed. Okay, ground, park and brake is released, ready to push. And that's off block at 32, we'll just ride it on time. And then we're ready for engine start at your convenience. Start sequence will be 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we'll commence the start of engines 1 and 2.
Cabin attendants, arm doors and cross-check. Welcome aboard Emirates Flight 232, departing from Washington to Dubai. My name is Khadija, and on behalf of the Captain Emmanuel, First Officer Stephanie, and the entire crew, we are delighted to have you with us today. Please pay close attention to the upcoming safety demonstration, as it contains important information even for our frequent flyers. To start, please ensure your seatbelts are fastened, adjusted, and opened by pulling the buckle. Remember, your seatbelt must be fastened whenever the seatbelt sign is illuminated. Next, please return your seat backs and tray tables to the upright position and open your window blinds for takeoff and landing. All mobile phones and electronic devices must be set to flight mode, and larger devices should be securely stowed during takeoff and landing. Smoking and the use of e-cigarettes are prohibited anywhere on
Alright, we got a good start on engines 1 and 2, starting 3 and 4.
In the event of an emergency, oxygen masks will drop automatically. Pull the mask
So,
firmly,
engine 3 and
place it
engine
over
4
your nose and
start.
mouth and breathe normally. Remember to secure your own mask before assisting others. Life vests are located under your seat or between the
Pushback
seats.
still in
To
progress.
put it on, pull it out, fasten it, and inflate it only after leaving the aircraft. Special life vests for children are also available. Floor-level lighting will guide you to the nearest exit, which is clearly marked. There are 16 emergency exits on this aircraft. Please note that the nearest exit may be behind you. In case of evacuation, leave all personal belongings behind and follow all safety instructions from the crew immediately. For your safety,
Okay, pushback
embrace
completed, set
position
park and
as is
brake.
close. Lean forward with your head against
Park and
the
brake
seat
set.
in front of you and your arms wrapped around your head. Finally,
Roger,
please take
stand
a moment
by.
to review the safety information card located in your seat pocket. Thank you for your attention, and we wish you a pleasant flight.
Okay, we have 4 good engine starts. Please prepare the airplane for taxi. See you with a clear signal on the right hand side and have a good day. Bye bye. So, trim is correct. That looks all good. So, there comes the tug. After start checklist, please. RTIs off, pitch trim set. After start checklist complete. Flight controls. Full up, full down, neutral. Full left, full right, neutral. Rudder. Full left, full right, neutral. Okay, clear signal. There she is with a pin. Beautiful. Emirates 232 Super, request taxi. Now this is going to be interesting. 19 left is over here, so he's had tail to the east. We did that.
Emirates 232 Heavy, runway 19er left, taxi via Charlie Kilo Juliet 1.
Charlie Kilo Juliet 1, Emirates 232 Super. Alright, so Charlie Kilo Juliet 1, so the pushback instruction was definitely incorrect. Alright, lights on, brakes off. I suppose we'll just have to do 180 then. Preferably before that Embraer crashes into us. Yeah, he's stopping. He knows what's good for him. Look at how much thrust we need to get this thing to move. Okay then, so straight out of the apron to the end, then to the right. No, to the left. To the right now, to get onto that taxi line. That's what I meant to say. Okay, cool. So I've got no changes to the takeoff briefing. Takeoff, takeoff, good. So once we're clear of the apron and on the taxiway, we can run the checklist. Right side is clear. Left side is clear. And if you're wondering, yes, things are laggy for me as well. Yeah, the fly-by-wire is just incredible. So it looks rather empty at the holding point. I do appreciate that. Okay, taxi checklist please. So, flight controls, checked. Flap setting, config 2, radars on. Ecom memo, takeoff, no blue, taxi checklist complete. So straight ahead to the end, then to the right. And there's gonna be our runway. You can really feel the weight of the airplane, can you? Like, look at that. I'm taking the thrust off and it immediately starts slowing down. Let's see. Yeah, we already used 500 kilos of taxi fuel. That tells me everything I need to know. Absolutely everything. Okay, so second taxiway to the right and then we're at the runway. Let's see if he is going to give us a handoff. If not... Oh,
Emirates 232 heavy, contact tower on 134.425.
134.425. Emirates 232 heavy. Dallas Tower, Emirates 232 Super, ready for departure. Overshot that turn. That's what happens when you have to do too many things at once.
Emirates 232 heavy, Dulles Tower, no delay. Embraer 145 on a 6-mile final runway 19er left, winds 330 at 5. RNAV rings cleared for takeoff.
RNAV ranks, runway 19 left, cleared for takeoff. Emirates 232 Super. Yeah, come on, that's lots of space there. Okay, so cabin crew, prepare for departure. And line up checklist, please. Takeoff runway, 19 left for length, packs 1 and 2 on lineup checklist complete. Are you ready? Takeoff. And stabilized. Manflex 34 SRS, auto thrust blue. Thrust set. Knots, checked. Oh, runway.
V1.
Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Nav, checked. So, straight ahead to 820, and then and only then we are going to fly the turn. The flight director is commanding nonsense there. Here we are, 820, right turn, 310. So, pull heading 310. That way we are going to fly the SID correctly. Heading.
Emirates 232 heavy, contact departure on 120.45.
120.45, Emirates 232 Super, bye-bye. Thrust climb, open climb, auto thrust. And flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. Washington departure, Emirates 232 Super, passing 2000, climbing 3000. Should be heading 320.
Emirates 232 heavy, Potomac departure, radar contact, climb and maintain flight level 240, turn right heading 045, vectors to rings, then is filed.
Climb maintain level 240, right heading 045, Emirates 232. Okay, 24,000 blue, flaps 0. Speed checked, flaps 0.
Emirates 232 heavy, maintain flight level 240 until reaching rings, then is filed.
Roger. Look at that. 230 something tons takeoff weight, green dot 235. That's what I call some large wings. Okay then, heading 045, Autopilot 1.
Emirates 232 Heavy, contact Reagan, approach on 119.85.
119.85, Emirates 232, super. I have a feeling that St. Tensions doesn't know about the word super. Approach Emirates 232 super, passing 3,800, climbing level 240.
Emirates 232 Heavy, Reagan departure, good morning, Dallas altimeter 3018.
3018, Emirates 232.
Frontier flight
Check
3663,
QNH.
contact Washington Center
QNH,
on
cross check, passing
135.525.
5.2 now. Checked. So now the big question, does he want us to fly on the heading or does he want us to fly direct to rings? Emirates 232, please confirm, shall we fly direct to rings?
Descending to 3,000 cleared for the RNAV X-ray 33 left approach, southwest 1712.
Emirates 232 Heavy, good morning, Dallas altimeter 3018.
That was not my question.
Southwest 1712, contact Baltimore Tower on 119.4.
119.4 for southwest 1712.
Brickyard 30.
Emirates 232, please confirm, shall we fly direct to rings?
119.1 for Brickyard 3502.
Emirates 232 Heavy, direct rings, then as filed, please.
Thank you, direct rings, then as filed, Emirates 232, super. So, rings, present position, direct to
Emirates 232
insert.
Heavy, affirmative, fly direct rings, then as filed.
Yeah, don't repeat yourself. Climb nav. Okay, that's something at least. So, let's see. The climb panel tells me optimum 345, but I'm gonna rely on the SIMRI figures over here today, because, well, to be completely honest, I think the SIMRI figures are probably a little bit more trustworthy than the
Emirates
figures
232
from
Heavy,
the
climb and
Throttle
maintain flight level 260.
Emirates 232 Super, climb and maintain level 260. And that's 26,000 blue. Alright, going through 10,000. The rings restriction, no problem at all. So, lights are coming off, signs into auto please. EFIS, well, I suppose we might as well use terrain on our side. And apart from that, wait a moment, why are the seatbelts on auto, but still on? Packs up, or gear up, flaps up, those should be the conditions. Well, then we'll switch it off. Alright, cool. So that's everything we need for the time being. Then I'd say sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Enjoy our next 12 hours on board this Airbus A380, and I see you all when we're starting the approach to Dubai. Good morning, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the flight so far. We are now on the way into Dubai, and, well, as you can see, the sun has just about risen. In other words, we're gonna make sure those sunshades are as far down as possible, and we are now on the VTEP 4 Charlie arrival for the ILS approach to runway 30 left. The arrival is going to be with a little bit of tailwind there. The wind is currently about 120 at 4 knots. So not too shabby, but not too good either. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a moment here to go over to, or rather to go down to flight level 70. I had to turn air traffic control off over here because, well, there were some issues with runway assignment. Now, passing 10,000, let's go ahead and turn on the landing lights. Seatbelts are on already. The EFIS control panel is now set and BTV is pre-selected, and we're making our way down. So I am going to turn off the terrain display over here because it does seem to impact the frame rate quite a bit in the fly-by-wire A380. So let's just keep that in mind. Okay, we are currently relieved of the vertical restrictions of the arrival, but now let's go ahead and go down to an altitude of 4,000 over here in preparation for the base turn somewhere around Setpo. That leaves us 15 miles, 20 miles, 30 miles, so we're actually pretty good in terms of our altitude. Alright then, so let's conduct the approach briefing and see what we can come up with. So the approach is going to be the VTEP 4 Charlie arrival for an ILS approach runway 30 left, MSA 3800, minimum 260, go around straight ahead, slight left turn, climbing altitude 3000 feet, and extra fuel and time, that should be quite a bit now. So 4.5 tons extra, giving us about half an hour. Now the approach is going to be self-vectored, flight director guided, ILS approach runway 30 left, config full, maximum reverse, BTV with about 2000 meter stop margin to vacate the runway to the left hand side. No hotspots for our taxi-in, and we've got nothing special or non-standard. You see any threats for today's arrival? No, perfect, because I don't either. And that's the approach briefing complete then. So we're on QNH already, 1016, then let's go ahead and do the approach checklist. So, barrel ref, QNH 1016, minimum baro 260, auto brake, BTV, approach checklist complete. I like it, that's how easy these things can go. So, some nice Dubai in the view in the background over there. I like these early morning arrivals. In the real world, just like in the sim. In the real world, because you're still rather fit, what I really don't like are those arrivals at around 11 to 8 AM local time. In the time zone that I'm acclimatized to. Because those are the arrivals where you fly through the night, then 5 or 6 in the morning is a good time, but after that, it really starts dragging out. Alright, so let's descend to an altitude of 3000 feet. We're now 8 miles outbound. Let's fly until we're at like 11 miles or so. Then we can start our right-hand turn into the base. In the meantime, speed 210, and we can start slowing down. So we're thrust idle and open descent. So activate approach race, and confirmed. Thrust idle, even though there should really not have been a box there because there was no change in the active mode. Okay, so 11 miles out, turn right, heading, what is that, 210. Heading. Okay, so set pull on top please. Too bad the flyball wire doesn't support course in and course out yet, but here we go. So, heading 210. Then, I suppose we can clean up our cockpit a bit. Like that. Okay, further right, heading to 70, cleared ILS approach, runway 30 left. So, land 3 single, speed, glide slope star, lock star. 12 miles out, that looks pretty good. Well then, let's have a little bit of fun. Glide slope, approach 1. Flaps 1. Speed checked, flaps 1. Manage speed. Alright, now we're of course going into the tailwind, so let's get the speed brakes out. $13 knots tailwind at the moment, that's okay. Lock. Man, she really needs some convincing here to slow down.
2,500.
That's better. Okay, so flaps 2. Speed checked, flaps 2. There is no ballooning on Airbus aircraft, as the French do say. And gear down. Flaps 3. Speed checked, flaps 3. So 160 until 4 would be standard Dubai procedure. But we are still going to configure the airplane completely. Flaps full. Speed checked, flaps full. Landing checklist. Econ memo, landing no blue, landing checklist complete. So, a little bit of dust, just like it was predicted. So we're going to maintain the 160 knots until 4 DME, which is the standard operating procedure here. And then at 4 DME we can go back to managed, slow it down. And that should work out just fine. Okay, reaching 4 DME. Manage speed. Runway is not in sight yet.
$1,000.
Checked. But we are going over the slight hill here. Now is the real 1000, and as you can see, we are fully stabilized. Nice. So, 12 hours, 12 minutes flight time. Some approach lights would be good, but I think I can start seeing the puppy come up right now. So it's an A380, we gotta make sure that we flare early enough. Okay, now the runway is clearly in sight. A little bit of tailwind from the right. Just 2 knots. Nothing significant.
100 above.
Checked.
Minimum.
Continue.
$50, $40, 30, 20, retard. 5,
speed brake up, thrust was normal. And decel. 12 hours 14, welcome to Dubai. $70 knots. Manual brakes.
auto brake off.
And here we are. Another 12 hours in the logbook, huh? So temperature is 24 degrees, then we can retract those flaps completely. And we're parking right over here on the edge. So it's a fairly short taxi in here. Okay, so that's gonna be our line, Fox 26 Lima. No, I'm not gonna call for GSX. That just increases the lag. Alright, so the after landing items were completed. APU is available now. Lights off. No after landing checklist on this airplane. Right, let's do a few more meters and we can stop over here. Nice. So, park and brake set, APU bleed is confirmed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cabin crew, all doors and park. Alright, welcome to Dubai. Then, engines are turning off, bacon light off, seatbelts off, no ground power available. Alright, parking checklist please. So, well, that's a landing checklist, gotta skip over that one. That was completed already. Parking checklist, please. Park and brake or trucks. That's the park and brake set. And wing light is off. Parking checklist complete. So my friends, thank you very much for flying along. Let me know how you liked this one. Leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. As always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. And if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.